What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Matt Riddle calls out The Undertaker again, Tony Khan is interested in hiring a recently fired superstar, is another Raw superstar injured, Triple H calls out Elon Musk, Baron Corbin's shocking transformation, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Now, our first story looks at Matt Riddle calling out The Undertaker again. The blowback from The Undertaker's comments to Joe Rogan that today's wrestling product is soft, what some stars took as an implication that the stars themselves are soft, continues to draw heat, and Matt Riddle isn't giving The Undertaker a pass. You may recall our previous news video where we commented on Riddle's remarks that "I'm a former UFC fighter that broke people's jaws in a steel cage, something that wasn't around when he was a young man. And I bet if it was, he still wouldn't have stepped up because it takes a different breed." Now Riddle has even more to say about the situation. In an exclusive interview with Metro UK's Alistair McGeorge, Riddle remarked, "Pro wrestling is the most outlandish high school you'll ever go to. Monday Night Raw is just like, what's gonna happen this week? If anybody has a problem with anybody, nobody says it. It's always like, psst, past. I'm like, why are we hearing stuff like this? Say something, do something. I'm not saying you have to go the Undertaker route and fight each other and be men about it. I'm saying let's talk about it, but hey, it is what it is." As Dave Meltzer commented in this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, most of the current superstars aren't commenting on The Undertaker's words. Let's just say a lot of talent, not just here, was very upset about The Undertaker calling the modern generation of wrestlers soft, and at those who backed up that statement. Aside from Reigns and McIntyre, who evidently felt their stature was such that they could retaliate without getting heat, most kept quiet because it's a no-win situation arguing with a legend in public. Other than Riddle, of course, who routinely gets heat for calling out wrestlers that he wants to work with when it's not a set angle, and that's frowned upon here unless you're at the Reigns-McIntyre level. What do you guys think of Riddle's comments? Is he speaking from the heart or just looking to get heat at Taker's expense? One person who did respond was Booker T though, and he wasn't pleased with Riddle's response to The Undertaker's comments. Speaking on his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker brought up Riddle's reply to The Undertaker's comments, including Riddle's comment insinuating that some wrestlers from The Undertaker's generation were dumb due to their disregard for health and reckless lifestyle. Booker noted, if he did say it, it should be a problem. If Riddle did say anything about what The Undertaker said, regarding whatever it is, it should be a problem. The first real interview The Undertaker has given, and for someone to be giving him a pushback on what he sees what the business is today, that person should go and talk to him and not some reporter. That's my take on it. And Booker T makes a living out of commenting on other wrestlers' remarks during his podcast, so it seems odd for him to call out Riddle for speaking publicly about Taker's criticism. Furthermore, Taker started the dialogue by appearing on the Joe Rogan Experience, a podcast with a huge audience. The two-time Hall of Famer then shared his thoughts on Riddle's rhetoric about his past as an MMA fighter. What do you mean by that first and foremost? How do you come to that conclusion? Go and work for Dana White. Remember what Dana White said at the end of his run at UFC. Go back and do that if that's what you want to do. If you're doing this and you're confusing it with that, that's a problem. If someone doesn't address it, it's going to continue to be a problem. It's that simple. While Booker raises some interesting points, he seems to be confused or intentionally misstating what Riddle said about being an MMA fighter. Riddle wasn't calling out The Undertaker to an MMA bout, but reminding everyone that he fought legitimate fights and his toughness shouldn't be called into question. The Undertaker's comments continue to create controversy as retired and active wrestlers respond to him, but don't expect to see the issue disappear anytime soon. Next up, a Raw superstar injured. The injury bug appears to have struck again on the Red brand, this time with Raw superstar John Morrison taking a spill during this week's match against Matt Riddle. Dave Meltzer observed that Morrison did a twisting dive. He caught his leg in the ropes and landed with his knee landing on the floor. He was hurt and he was down for a while, then limping, and then the ref asked how he was. He continued the match and didn't limp much, but wasn't selling since Riddle never worked on the knee. There's currently no confirmation of an injury, but we will continue to follow this story. Hopefully Morrison will still be able to work his rumored program alongside The Miz at WrestleMania against Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. Next up, a championship chance coming for Cesaro. While Roman Reigns is defending the Universal Championship against Edge at WrestleMania 37, the WWE's Fastlane pay-per-view is coming on 21st March, leading to the speculation that the Tribal Chief might be putting the belt on the line. Meltzer discussed the possibility in this week's Observer. Reigns is facing Edge at Mania, which either means no title match for him until then, or they do something to pay off Reigns versus Cesaro, with the idea Cesaro could win and Edge would face him, although I don't expect people would take that so seriously. But there are no economic consequences of matchmaking that isn't interesting, so it doesn't matter. Although Cesaro came up short in the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match, he nonetheless looks strong, and a title shot against Roman Reigns could be another chance for the Swiss Cyborg to show his merits as a single star. While a Cesaro Universal Championship win is unlikely, a strong showing against Reigns could be a great opportunity. However, will the WWE give Cesaro a chance to look good against Reigns before WrestleMania, or will the Swiss Superman be sacrificed to help get Reigns over at his expense? Next up, AEW wants Zelina Vega. A former WWE superstar, Zelina Vega's no-compete clause is over, yet the talented performer appears not to have been signed by any wrestling company. But that could change as AEW President Tony Khan appears interested in the talented manager and occasional wrestler. Meltzer commented, "Isn't she in a 90-day non-compete? She was in a non-compete last time I checked. I've been waiting for that. I don't talk to people when they have the non-compete. If hers expired, it must have just expired. I've been waiting on her non-compete to expire. I have to check the math to see if she expired. When we get through this tournament and through this pay-per-view, I'd be interested to see where she's at." Vega proves she's a versatile worker, excelling as a manager, but also showing skills as a commentator. Next up, King Corbin's incredible transformation. Add King Corbin to the list of WWE superstars who have undergone an incredible physical transformation since becoming wrestlers. Corbin recently shared a 2011 Instagram photo of himself of his days as a football player when he tipped the scales at 332 pounds, along with the comment, "Quick question, was it the shirt that made me look fat, or my fat that made me look fat?" Yeah, the beer didn't do me any favors either. That's 332 pounds, drink it in. Corbin looks phenomenal compared to his NFL days when he played for the Indianapolis Colts and Arizona Cardinals. But while Corbin's transformation is remarkable, there's a big difference between the type of physique he needed as a football player compared to that of a wrestler. And finally, Triple H calls out Elon Musk. Scientist Supreme Elon Musk has talked about building a city on Mars, and now it looks like the WWE could be headed to the Red Planet for a match between Triple H and Musk himself. Apparently, Triple H is none too happy about some comments Musk made about wrestling during an appearance on the Good Time show. Helmsley called out Musk, acknowledging Musk's scientific and business achievements, but noting, "At this point, Elon, you have to ask yourself, all those incredible accomplishments, and believe me, they are cool, but who have you beaten? Who have you ever beat? Answer is nobody. So if you want to disrespect our business, I will anytime, any place, anywhere fight you. Elon Musk, if you've got the guts and you have what it takes to do this, then you and I will talk about what I really want to talk about, which is taking one of your rockets, launching it from Florida, going up into space, heading to Mars with a team from the Performance Center, where we then put on the largest spectacle the universe has ever seen, WrestleMania Mars." Yeah, that's an idea, Triple H. Perhaps they'll include that in WWE 2K22. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.